Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Have you ever actually stopped to pause and think about how a simple, invisible breath of air transforms into the incredibly complex tapestry of language? Well, today we're taking a fascinating behind-the-scenes journey into the anatomy of English consonants. We're going to explore exactly how human breath turns into the 24 distinct sounds of the English language, and we'll uncover the sometimes hilarious, honestly sometimes frustrating, war between how words are spoken and how they're actually spelled. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, how we produce consonants. Number 2, voicing, vibrate or not. Third, plosives, the explosive sounds. Fourth, the quirks of past tense verbs. 5, nasals, fricatives, and affricates. And lastly, approximants, the smooth sounds. All right, section 1, how we produce consonants, the journey of the breath. Before we jump right into the alphabet, I want you to think about what physically happens every single time you exhale and decide to speak. Because, right, a consonant isn't just a squiggly line on a page. It's a physical event. By definition, it's a sound produced when air coming from your lungs gets blocked or obstructed, forcing its way out of your mouth and creating friction. Because of this real physical force required to push air past an obstruction, consonant sounds are inherently strong and hard. They literally take effort to make. Let's actually break down this biological foundation step by step. Step 1. Air passes through your lungs as you exhale. Step 2. That airflow travels up and hits a narrow aperture, specifically your vocal cord sitting right there in your larynx. And finally, step 3. The air is either completely blocked or narrowed down, producing friction as you force it out into the world. And this exact physical sequence, that's the biological engine for literally every single consonant we speak. Moving on to section 2, voicing, vibrate or not, the state of the glottis. And here's where things get really interactive, because this is the primary way we categorize these sounds. I want you to actually place your hand flat against the front of your throat right now. Got your hand there? Awesome. This perfectly illustrates the difference. For voiced sounds, the air is only narrowly blocked. You're applying little force, which produces a really distinct vibration right there in your throat. Try it. Make a long zzz sound. Feel that buzz? That's voicing. Now for voiceless sounds, the air is totally blocked. You use way more force, creating a really strong sound, but with absolutely zero vibration. Try a sharp s. Notice how the buzz is completely gone? It's just pure airflow. So here they are, all 24 English consonants, neatly organized by their manner of articulation. I know, it looks a bit like phonetic alphabet soup right now, but don't panic, we're going to decode the whole shebang together. We've got them grouped into plosives, nasals, fricatives, affricates, and approximants, based on exactly how our mouths obstruct that airflow. All right, section 3, plosives, the explosive sounds and when pronunciation completely defies spelling. So plosives are produced with a sudden release of air. They literally sound like a tiny explosion in your mouth. When you make a crisp, popping P or a heavy B sound, you're totally blocking the airflow, letting the pressure build up behind your lips, and then bam, you suddenly release it. But here is the absolutely crucial point we need to keep in mind. What matters in spoken English is the pronunciation, not the spelling, because they are very different. The spelling often tries to trick our brains into making a plosive sound that just isn't there anymore. It's the whole reason silent letters exist, which is kind of ridiculous when you really think about it. Take the silent P and B, for instance. The spelling promises a tiny explosion, but the actual spoken word drops it completely. We write a P in receipt, empty, pneumatic, cupboard, psalm, psychology, but we just say receipt and cupboard. There's no pop of air at all. Same exact thing for B. Look at bomb, climb, plumber, doubt, debtor, thumb. We spell them with a B at the end, but the sound, totally missing. The plosive is literally an illusion. And the disappearing act just continues with the silent T and D. Look at these super common everyday words. Depot, listen, hasten, whistle, castle, debut, kitchen. You listen, right? You don't listen. And for D, you've got amidst, sandwich, Wednesday, handsome, badge. You eat a sandwich on Wednesday, but you never ever pronounce that D. Somewhere along the historical line, that sudden plosive block of air just totally vanished from how we speak. Wrapping up our list of silent plosives, we have the K and G. Words like night, knee, knife, no, knuckle. And for G, gnat, sign, align,
paradigm, campaign. Knight and Nat are just perfect examples of this spelling versus pronunciation reality check. You see a K in knife and you expect a hard stop in the back of your throat, but your mouth just ignores it entirely and jumps straight to the N sound.
Okay, section 4, quirks of past tense verbs, assimilation, and action. So let me ask you something. Why does the word shocked sound like it ends with a T? It's spelled with an ED. Visually, by all logic, it should end with a D sound, right? So why in the world doesn't shocked sound the way it's actually spelled? Well, what's really interesting here is the phonetic rule of assimilation. It works like this. If a present tense verb ends in a voiceless sound, like the hard K in shock, the past tense ED actually assimilates to match it. It adopts a voiceless T sound, shocked, asked, picked. But if the base verb ends in a voiced sound, like the humming N in clean, the ED assimilates to a voiced D sound, moved, cleaned, powered. Basically, voiceless sticks with voiceless, and voiced sticks with voiced. It's just our mouths finding the absolute laziest, most efficient physical path. And hey, if the word already ends in a T, only then do we add that distinct extra syllable, the id sound, like in plated or dated.
Moving right along to section 5, nasals, fricatives, and affricates, nostrils, leaks, and mashups.
So, nasals are exactly what they sound like. The air, or at least a big part of it, comes right out of your nostrils. They're all voiced. Think of the M in mother, the N in run, or that ing sound in song. The air channels straight through the nose. Fricatives, though, are produced with a gradual release of air. If plosives are those sudden explosions, fricatives are much more like a slow, sustained air leak, like the F in find, the V in van, or the S in snake.
And then we have the affricates, which are basically a linguistic combination mashup. It's almost like a simple math equation. Take a voiceless plosive stop, the T, add the voiceless fricative, sh sound, and you get ch, like the start of the word chin. Take the voiced plosive d, add the voiced fricative j sound, and you get j, like in the word judge. An affricate literally forces a sudden stop to combine with a gradual, friction-filled release. Pretty cool, right?
Finally, section 6, approximates, the smooth sounds avoiding the jam. We've reached our last category. Approximants are voiced sounds where your speech organs just don't have enough contact to produce a complete jam or block. The air path is never fully cut off. I mean, think about sounds like the y in yes, the w in wow, the r in red, and the l in lip. They just glide right out of your mouth, beautifully avoiding all that harsh, explosive friction we talked about earlier. Which brings us to our final, somewhat provocative thought. We use these 24 consonant sounds every single day, seamlessly weaving them together. But how many are currently hiding behind the trickery of silent letters in your own vocabulary? After taking this anatomy tour of speech, I highly challenge you to look at the spelling of every single word you read from now on and ask yourself, is my mouth actually making that sound, or is my brain just playing tricks on me? Thanks so much for exploring the mechanics of consonants with me today. Stay curious, keep listening to the sounds around you, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.